540,000 yen.
540,000 yen.
A survey by Japan's Immigration Services Agency found that this is the average amount foreign workers are paying just to land a job here. That is a crippling amount of debt before you even earned your first paycheck. A crippling amount of debt.
Crippling amount of debt.
So what happens when you trap people under a mountain of debt? They run. So if you're not supposed to be paying 500,000 yen, what should you actually be budgeting for? So you're dreaming of working in Japan as a specific skilled worker, but you're worried about those massive fees, right? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on what some of these agencies are charging. Your dream job shouldn't bury you in debt, so let's get into the truth and show you a safer and way cheaper way to get there. Okay, let's just start with a number that should absolutely stop you in your tracks. 540,000 yen. That's almost 4,000 US dollars. I mean, that is a crippling amount of debt before you even earned your first paycheck. And that brings up the big question, doesn't it? Is this really what it costs to work in Japan? Is 500,000 yen just the price of admission? Well, the short answer is absolutely not. And the long answer? Well, it uncovers a system that's been taking advantage of workers for far too long. To really understand where these insane fees are coming from, we have to look back at the history a little bit. See, this isn't a new problem at all. It's actually rooted in a system that, for decades, has been criticized for putting cheap labor way ahead of worker welfare. And a lot of its worst habits are, believe me, still around today. It pretty much all starts here, with something called the Technical Intern Training Program, or TITP. Now, on paper, its goal was pretty noble: transfer Japanese skills and knowledge to developing countries. But the reality? For years, critics and even the workers themselves have been saying it's just a way to fill tough, blue-collar jobs that, frankly, many Japanese workers don't want anymore. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Listen to this. This is a powerful quote from someone who actually went through the system. They said, "It is undoubtedly cheap labor trafficking that is masked to be technical skills globalization." That's not just a complaint. That's a raw, first-hand account of what this program feels like to the people trapped inside it. So what happens when you trap people under a mountain of debt and stick them in harsh working conditions? They run. In just one recent year, more than 9,700 interns just vanished from their jobs. And they don't just pack up and go home. They fall completely off the grid, often forced into illegal work just to survive, because the very system they trusted completely failed them. Okay, so this brings us right back to that 500,000 yen fee. If the system has been this flawed for so long, where in the world is all that money actually going? Let's break it down. It's time to separate the real, legitimate cost from just pure predatory profit. Now, an agency will tell you that these huge fees cover all these essential services, Japanese lessons, job placement, paperwork, but the reality is so much simpler. The most expensive part of their supposed service, giving you job information, should cost you exactly nothing. Let me say that again because it's critical. You should not have to pay to find a job, period. Here's a look at how the whole scam works. Out of a typical 500,000 yen fee, a staggering 75%, or even more, often goes straight into the agency's pocket. It's just pure profit. Only a tiny little slice gets spent on things that actually help you, like some education or document processing. You're not paying for a service, you're just padding their bottom line. All right, so if you're not supposed to be paying 500,000 yen, what should you actually be budgeting for? Let's break down the real, legitimate costs you'll need to cover to get started as a specific skilled worker in Japan. I promise you, the real picture looks totally different. Look at this. The real costs are just a fraction of what scammers are charging. Job hunting? That's 0 yen. A good language course, an LPK, that's under 100,000 yen. Certifications, paperwork, even your flight. When you add it all up, the legitimate total is somewhere around 170,000 yen. Now compare that to the 500,000 to 700,000 yen that agencies demand. It's insane. They're overcharging you by more than 3 times.
Okay, now that you know the truth about the costs, you have the power to completely avoid these scams. So, how do you do it? Right here, this is your clear, step-by-step guide to finding a job in Japan safely and affordably, without any of those exploitative middlemen.
Here's your roadmap. Just 6 simple steps. First, get your Japanese skills up to at least the N4 level. Second, get your specific skilled worker, that's your SSW certification. Third, and this is the most important one, find your job for free. After that, it's just a matter of preparing documents, booking your flight, and planning for your arrival. It's that straightforward, and you're in complete control of the whole process. I honestly can't stress this enough. That step, finding the job, that's where all the scams happen. It's the moment you are at your most vulnerable. The single most crucial thing you need to remember is that legitimate employers and services do not charge you a fee to get hired. So where do you actually look for these free opportunities? Well, you can use Japan's official government employment centers. They're called Hello Work. There are also government-to-government programs, tons of online job portals like Indeed or YOLO Japan, and of course, trusted communities like ours right here at Forpal. We are dedicated to connecting you directly and safely. These are your keys to cutting out the scammers for good. So we've gone through the problem, we've deconstructed the scam, and we've laid out a safe path forward. It really all comes down to this. This journey to Japan is your future, and the choice of how you get there is yours and yours alone. If you take only one single thing away from all of this, let it be this. Finding a job in Japan as a specific skilled worker should be free. The company that wants to hire you is the one that pays any recruitment costs, not you. Never, ever forget that. When you look at it like this, your choice is crystal clear. The scam path starts you off with over 500,000 yen in debt and a ton of risk. The safe path is a smart investment in your future, costing around 170,000 yen, where you are always in control. It's a simple choice, really. Debt or empowerment. So the final question is really for you. Now that you've got the information, you've got the tools, are you ready to bypass the scams, save your hard-earned money, and take full control of your journey to Japan? Knowledge is your absolute best protection. The rules and opportunities for working in Japan, they're always changing, so it's so important to stay informed. For all the latest updates and guides, make sure you follow us here at Forpal, Work Abroad Media for People. We are here to help you make your dream a reality the right way.